I never bring it. Good afternoon.
We'll go. I guess we'll start with the obvious. Have you made a decision on the quarterback situation yet?
I have.
And who is it?
It'll be Nick. Yeah.
And what factors led to that?
Well, where Carson is health-wise, and just another week of rest for Carson will help him, and so made the decision to go forward with Nick.
Is there consideration of putting Carson on IR, or are you just going to continue?
We will not put Carson on IR. Yeah.
Hey, Doug, from your standpoint, as a play caller, game planner, last year, having gone through this, how much did it help you to get Nick ramped up to speed? How much did it help you?
First of all, you need a new hat.
What's wrong with Arizona?
A lot of it. I don't know if I've said this, but after the Cowboy game, Mike Rowe and I got together, and really, we wanted to kind of condense the plan just a little bit for the guys. We felt like, and that we just needed to kind of get back to the basics. Excuse me, just a little bit. And so this was before the Carson Nick deal last week. We decided to go forward with that and put together a game plan that would be conducive for anybody, quite frankly, any of our quarterbacks. And so I think that's what you saw that came out of the game, which was a credit to Mike and putting the plan together like he did, and gave Nick, as we go through the week last week, or went through the week, every opportunity to comment on the game plan if there's things he didn't like, just like we would with Carson, and there were a couple things, but for the most part he felt comfortable with it. Didn't really have to change a whole lot, or at least go back to last season to pull anything from last year. And again, I felt like coming out of this football game, it was just a team effort. It was offensive line, the receivers, backs, defense. It was just special teams, just a great team effort.
You said in the radio, fewer pre-snap motions was the plan even before you knew what the quarterback was. But when you're taking those away, or some of them, doesn't that give the quarterback a little less information, man zone, and why can you get away with doing that?
Yeah, it can take it away, but it also, by formation, putting guys in certain pre-snap formation positions can also tell man zone. So you don't necessarily have to have a motion or a shift to tell that. It's all based on the film study and how we want to align. So, and then you're going into a loud environment and all the moving parts. If you notice, even last night in the second half, we had a couple of penalties. We were moving some guys around. We got some holding penalties and things, and so we felt like just let everybody kind of be stationary the best we could, and let Nick kind of settle into the game that way.
Doug, you said you will not put Carson on IR. When we last talked to you, you said it would take maybe 3 months for this to heal. Does that mean that you've gotten good news since then? Has the time frame sped up? Did you see more doctors? Have you gotten more opinions?
Well, it's a couple of things. We've gotten a little more information, and two, this is probably why I don't like to put timetables or put players in boxes, and so things have changed just a little bit. So he'll be listed as week to week. We will not put him on IR, and obviously when he's healthy, he's our quarterback, and we'll go from there.
What was the information you got?
Quote unquote, is there a possibility that he plays without the stress situation being completely healed if there's no danger of further damage?
Well, and that's something we'll continue to monitor with him and our doctors and make that determination when we can.
Is you planning for Foles the next 2 games?
This week for sure. Yeah.
What was the information you got, and was it positive?
Yeah, it was positive. We just continue to gather information like we do on all our athletes and all our players, and the information is favorable, and it's something that it was positive for him, positive for us, but at the same time we got to make sure that he's 100% or better before we put him back out there. But right now, he'll be listed as week to week and go from there.
Have you got a sense that this is, again, difficult for him to watch?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Listen, he's such a competitor, and he's won a bunch of games for us here, and he will continue to win a bunch of games for us. And, it's the thing is with Carson, as much as a competitor, he's so giving of himself. You saw him in the game last night, how engaging he was with myself. He was engaging with Nick, and very supportive that way, as tough as it is. And that's a credit to him.
You sometimes see in sports, especially football with a backup quarterback, the team plays better because there's no Superman there. There's no superhero. There's no Carson Wentz. So, okay, Nick's playing. He's not Carson. Maybe we play a little bit better across the board. Do you feel that that's what happened the last 2 Decembers with your team? Because you keep going back to saying and last year you said as well, it's a team win, all 3 phases. Everybody played well. It seems like that's a recurring instance with Carson versus Nick.
Yeah, and I think too, anytime we win, it definitely truly is a team win, regardless of who's playing quarterback. But the other thing too is our backs are against the wall too as a football team, and we know the nature of where we are, what needs to be done, and I think you saw a little bit of that last night, just how well this team kind of came together in all 3 phases, quite frankly, to get this win against a great football team and a good football team. So every win is cherished and appreciative and hard fought, and we just try to get the next one.
As much as we.
Sorry, Doug, you just touched on it there, but this team did look a lot more settled going into the game on all 3 phases. Can you try to pinpoint maybe something that happened during the week that allowed this team to kind of have that more even-keeled composure?
Yeah, I think, coming off, of course, we had the 2 wins, the Giants, the Redskins, and then a tough Cowboys loss in overtime. And sometimes as a coach, you're concerned with another long West Coast road trip, and will there be any kind of a letdown, especially after our defense was on the field for almost 100 plays, the week before. But we as a team, we really stay committed to our process and to what our task at hand is. And I challenged the leaders of the football team last week to stay engaged, to motivate the young players to come to work every day, excited and get ready for another long, road trip. And so as the week progressed last week, each day got just a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And by Friday, I felt that guys' energy were back, from the week before. Saturday's walkthrough was one of the best, even though it was a walkthrough set. I didn't even say walkthrough; it was more of a jog through, but very spirited, kind of upbeat. And the guys were looking forward to going out there and facing the Rams team. And it's just been a credit to, I think, the coaches and players for staying engaged.
As a follow-up to that, as much as we talk to you about schemes and game management and personnel decisions, how important is for your job getting the team in kind of the right state of mind for games?
I think it's huge. I think part of my job is to make sure that the team still understands the goals at hand and what's right there in front of us. And I think it's important that we maintain that vision and have that vision. We're still playing for something, and then of course the players have to embrace that and go play. So I think it's a big part of the messaging to the team, each week, and they responded well.
Is that a strength of yours or something you take particular pride in?
I take a lot of pride in it, quite frankly. Sometimes I'm not the smartest guy, quite frankly, and probably not the best communicator all the time. But there are moments where maybe something I've read or something I've seen or something like that sort of sparks a little fire inside of me that says, that's something I need to share with the team, and I think too, these guys, I know what these guys are battling through each week. It's tough to win games in this league. And so, I've been there. I've been on teams that have done that, and I think to show a little bit of care and concern and love for the players goes a long way, and then they'll respond, as they did last night.
I know you deal with Avante Maddox as much as you do the offensive players, but what is it about his approach to playing this game and coming in here and doing the job that you like about him?
He is he's been a real consistent player for us, outside of the injury and the setback, but even yesterday, and he's played multiple positions, which means he's a highly intellectual guy that understands scheme, and he's a young player that's just going to continue to get better, and really excited for him last night to get in there and make the plays he did. The interception was a thing of beauty, and then of course, the end of the game to be in that position to sort of contest that throw. But this guy, he comes to work every day. He feeds off the veteran players. Malcolm's been a great leader for him, back there in the back end. Corey Graham's been a leader for him back there, and he just continues to get better each day.
You mentioned these games are hard to win, all three phases. Quarterbacks get too much credit, too much blame, but
So do head coaches.
As a former quarterback, is there something to winning games when you see these quarterbacks with the great win-loss percentage? Is there something different about them?
I think they have a great handle on how to process, sort of, I know in Nick's case, former basketball player, and I know he said this before. He's like a point guard, in basketball, and he just wants to distribute the ball, or it doesn't matter where. It just wants to distribute the ball, and I think that's what you see characteristic, of great quarterbacks in this league is how well they can do that, and they don't get too high, they don't get too low, they kind of stay right in the middle, and if something negative happens in the game, they brush it off and want to come back to it again. They'll make it right the next time, and I think that's something that our quarterbacks have, that type of demeanor, and that was and it is one of Nick's strengths, obviously, and it showed last night.
You've seen Foles get on a roll, obviously, in a big way. He still looks like he might be starting that again. Would you have any apprehension about pulling him out if he's on one of these rolls again? Because you mentioned that when Wentz is healthy, he's a good guy.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously we hope it's a bridge we'll cross if we get there. We still got a lot of football left, but right now we're gonna stay committed to this week. I'm not gonna look any further than just the Houston Texans this week, and one day I'm sure we'll cross that bridge.
With Jernigan, Jones, Ciamalo, and Hicks, where are you with those guys?
All right, so Ciamalo, he's getting better. Again, we'll see where he's at. He's close, but maybe not there this week. But he is getting close. Jordan Hicks, should expect him this week at practice on Wednesday. So we'll see where he is. Who's the other one?
Jernigan and Sidney Jones.
Jernigan's coming along, and hopefully he can do something on Wednesday. Get him back in the mix. And the other one?
And Sidney Jones.
I'm sorry, Sidney Jones. Sidney's probably more week to week. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, guys.